Hey, what's up, y'all? Hey, happy Wednesday. I hope your week's going well. Thanks for joining in with us and being a part of this journey through the book of John, whether it's at the racetrack or right here on our YouTube channel. You know, we certainly do appreciate you being a part of it with us and going on this journey through the book of John. I have personally loved our series Committed, and I hope you have too. I know God has awakened me to a lot of cool things through it. And my hope is that he's done the same for you. I know at the racetrack, it has been wild to see how many people have made their faith a priority. You know, generally on Sundays, we get between 30 and 40 people every week for a 5-minute devotional to go through John, to come together and pray together. It has been awesome. And this year, there's been such a momentum. And so I just start there to say, man, thank you for praying. Thank you for being a part of this ministry. You know, when you engage with us on this channel, when you like, subscribe, share our videos, when you share our Facebook or Instagram posts, at the end of the day, we need storytellers, people to share the story of what God is doing within IndyCar, and you all are a part of that. I just want to say thank you, but I also want to ask, before we jump in today, I know I'm taking a lot of time, but man, be in prayer. Right now, we are in the grinds. The next 4 weeks are going to be really hard on people. The season's already been hard. People are at their max, and frankly, we've got a 4 or 5 week stretch where it just really digs in. And so if I could just ask you to please dedicate the next 30 days to being in prayer every day for those within the IndyCar community, that would be awesome. But, you know, today we are going to jump into John 10:22 through, I think it's like 42 or something. And really the big theme of this is religion. It's religion. We find Jesus just sparring with the Pharisees again. I love watching Jesus spar with the Pharisees. It's entertaining to me, but it's also convicting. Because essentially in John 10:22 through 42, Jesus is attacking their religion. He's attacking their beliefs to say they all point to me. And you know, we see that right here in verse, what verse is it? 10:25, where so the Jews gathered around him and said, "How long are you going to keep us in suspense? If you're the Christ, tell us plainly." Jesus answered them, "I told you, and you don't believe me. The works that I do in my Father's name bear witness about me, but you do not believe because you are not among my sheep." And then he points back to what he just said in John 10, "My sheep hear my voice, I know them, and they follow me." You know, it's crazy. The works I do in my Father's name bear witness about me. Like, in a way, Jesus is saying, all your stuff point to me. You know, they were celebrating the Feast of Dedication. He was saying, all these feasts, they all point to me. The whole scripture points to me. Your religion points to me. And I think that's an important reminder. If there's one thing I hate being called, it's religious. I can't stand being called religious. Because religion is our rhythms and duties of what we do for God. And at the end of the day, it's not so much that those things are bad. It depends where they place in your heart. So let me lay it out to you this way. Okay, I live in Florida, up the road from none other than right here. Okay, Daytona International Speedway. You know, NASCAR down here is a religion. I hate NASCAR. I'll be honest with you. I can't stand NASCAR. NASCAR ain't my jam. I'm IndyCar, okay? And so when I come down here and I talk about IndyCar, people don't know what I'm talking about. I've met people that don't know what an IndyCar is, and they don't care. It's crazy. I know. It's crazy for you to think about, too. But, you know, anytime I've taught at a church and I talk about who I am, where I'm from, it's funny because I always talk about the comparison between Daytona and Indianapolis. Down here, NASCAR is a religion. And when I tell them how much better and how much greater Indianapolis Motor Speedway is, they respond horribly. I have gotten complaints. I've gotten emails. I've had churches get complaints because I talked about how bad Daytona International Speedway is compared to the beautiful Indianapolis Motor Speedway. NASCAR down here is a religion. They can't see past their religion to the goodness and the greatness of IndyCar and the Indianapolis 500. And that's really what we see here. They are so blinded by their religion, they can't see past that to see Jesus. Now, I'm going to step on some toes. And I figured I would save this to the end because there's probably only a few of you that have made it this far in the video anyway, and that's okay. And hey, please, by all means, if you want to have a conversation about what I'm about to say, put it in the comments below, or you can email me at jason@indycarministry.org. That's fine. Let's talk about it. So, one of the things that I get approached a lot about is, why do we offer a Catholic Mass? You know, there's a lot of quote unquote Protestants that don't agree with the fact that we offer a Catholic Mass. Well, they pray to Mary, or they do this, or they do that, and, some are some valid points. There are some things in there that maybe, not being a Catholic, I don't quite understand. But I would also say, in the same vein, Protestants have things that are religious as well, that do things that, to me, I think are more religion, not relationship. It doesn't matter what denomination you are. I don't care if you're Methodist, Baptist, or those of us that are non-denominational, the non-denomination denomination, right? There's things in there that I think are grotesque. What if we cleared the table? What if we took everything off the table of religion? Everything, our churches, our pastors, our what we do for God. What if we cleared the table and we start with Jesus? Let's just start with Jesus. Jesus is the center point of our faith. It's, who do you say he is? Again, it comes back to the whole point of the book of John is, do you believe? Do you believe? It's over and over and over. He says, my sheep hear my voice and I know them. Do you have a relationship with Jesus? Let's start there first and let everything else flow. If you want to be Catholic, that's awesome. And the things that the Catholic Church does, they do. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, is Jesus the center point of your faith? That's what's important. For you Protestants out there, or my non-denominational people, at the end of the day, you got your bass guitars and your bright lights and your thumping bass, and you got your cool church because you want to be able to invite your friends to a cool church, and your laid back pastor with his cool shoes. That's fine. It's fine. But is it about Jesus? Where's your heart for Jesus? Jesus is the center point. Do you believe in Jesus? Look, y'all, I don't mean to step on any toes. I don't want to upset anybody. But it's about a relationship with Christ first. Fill everything else in afterwards. Anyway, y'all, coming to you from Daytona. It's a cool place. All of you NASCAR fanatics, don't get mad. It's okay. I don't mean to poo-poo on your cathedral here. NASCAR Daytona's beautiful, but it ain't got nothing on Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Anyway, y'all, see you next week.